To get a hold of the Furax Wraith, originally anyway, that might change in time, what you had to do is take part in the Operation Rathuum. Once you got to 100 points, you basically got sent a message from Steel Meridian, and there they are. And it's literally, as soon as you get to 100 points, they send you it, ask you to do some other stuff, but we're not going to get into that. And to be honest, I preferred the original ones. I don't know why, but they've taken the... Oh, god damn it. I just equipped those, and they had, like, flames coming off them. But now, for some reason... Oh, no, there it is. That looks cool, with the flames coming off them. But that's a normal one. The Wraith version, however, is exactly the same damage-wise. What they've done is they've added 0.5 times more multiplier, 5% more crit chance. Channeling damage has gone up a little bit, but to be honest, if you're going for a crit build, do you really want to be... Well, channeling is supposedly how you activate Berserker. I'm not touching that one. And its attack speed is quicker, so they are an improvement over the normal one. Apart from the fact that, well... any other fist weapon. Any other fist weapon. Ankyros. Ankyros Prime. Well, the Ankyros Prime just annihilates it on all the stats. Not on the crit, though. Normal Ankyros, not so much. Why? It's Obex I was thinking of, wasn't it? Which will be down here. The Kogaki. Similar style specs. The Mark 1 Furax is obviously going to be worse than it. The Obex is worse than them on every single scale. Ripkas. Actually, they're... Nope. On crit, it's still worse. But there it is. The Tekko is still a better weapon. It still has more crit. Doesn't have a higher multiplier, but has a higher percentage. So, yes, it's actually a pretty decent weapon. The Venka, okay, that's a little bit more damage. Not by much. Actually, no, it's not at all. So it does make them one of, well, probably the second most powerful, for crit anyway, melee weapons. Considering you get it from an event, it'll come with a catalyst installed and a weapon slot. If you sell them, you don't get either back. I go to upgrade, should be able to go to actions and installed. No polarities though. Not one. Jingle bells. Always funny when you can put things like that skin on and have the bells on them, but I did take them off. I have got that on my normal one. Not the normal Furax, the normal skin setup. I just kind of swapped to a different thing for this. Because I was actually surprised they went as far as making sure that the skins worked on it when bringing it out. Most Wraith weapons do have alternate skins anyway. If there's already a skin out for that weapon, I should say. Now, I did drop a forma in this to put in bloodrush. I went for bloodrush instead of Berserker because with Spoiled Strike, Berserker goes well. Because Spoiled Strike adds the 100% damage but takes away 20% speed. Berserker adds that back. Considering this is a 40% crit weapon. It starts life at 25, but once you've put True Steel on, it only goes to 40. Organ Shatter adds 90% crit damage, which takes it to 4.8 multiplier. I've got Pressure Point on there for 120% extra damage. Bloodrush was... I want to say it was a no-brainer, but really... It was that or Berserker, and I went with Bloodrush because the 65% extra crit chance that stacks with the combo multiplier does actually work fairly well after lots and lots of testing, because I kept swapping out Berserker and now it just kind of worked better with Bloodrush. I did opt for the Prime Heavy Trauma though, adding 135% impact damage. Because mine isn't max, that does go, I think it goes to 165, I cannot remember. But that took the total impact to 184.2. And then I added Voltic Strike and Virulent Scrooge for a total of 134.4 corrosive damage. As well as increasing the status chance, that's only 22, but this is more of a crit style build, but... I'm pretty sure there is somewhere another crit mod that I'm missing, and I was tempted on dumping the heavy trauma in favour of a a body count which increases the combo duration by 12 seconds, because when you go from one enemy to the other and your combo disappears, that 165% crit chance goes with it. But I didn't. I went for the straight up damage, because this thing only has a total crit chance of 40%, unless... is there actually another mod that I'm missing here? I mean, you do have, I think it's called True Punishment, which adds 40% crit chance, but it only does it when you're channeling, and it's minus 60% when you're channeling with it. So even throwing that on there doesn't change that 40%, because it only works when you channel. It's kind of like, I think it was called Endurance Strike, but that's for status, so we'll ignore that. And I looked through and I couldn't find any more crit mods, so either I'm missing something, or, yeah, there's probably is one somewhere and I just didn't notice it anyway. But bloodrush did make up for its low fall number at that 40%. I was even at one point tempted on putting not reach, because reach only goes to 60%, it would be the primed reach, but again, most of my prime mods are only modded to the last 2 spots, so again it's only 135% range. And even though it would be great, because the biggest downside to having what is basically a punching weapon, the fisting weapon is a phrase I wanted to kind of avoid there, but never mind. Their range is pretty small. That is something I would love to see make its way into the stats for melee weapons. Total range. Like, how far away can an enemy be before you hit them? Because they could actually make one that has a 0.0 range, and that would be these things. Because punching weapons, you have to literally hit them for them to work. So its range is pretty much non-existent. It probably does have a little bit beyond where the weapon stops. It probably does go a little bit further than that, but there isn't anything to say whether there is or there isn't, so that's why I'm saying it would be nice to have something there that says range, because it would kind of clear all this up. But once you take the build out of it and everything else, it's not that bad of a weapon. I was actually looking at this thing and thinking, well, it's just another Furax. This is the 3rd one. You've got the normal Furax, which wasn't that bad of a weapon. When it first came out, it was, well, it was literally one of the starting weapons. It's, as far as I'm aware, it's always been there. The Ankyros came much later. And I always saw it as more of a rhino weapon, because every time I saw it, it was on a rhino originally. So I never really used it that much. The rest of them I used, still not as much, because the range on them sucks. But this thing, with it having the 20%, oh no, was it 20% or 25% starting crit chance? It was 25% starting crit chance and 2.5 times multiplier. Wasn't actually bad, despite the fact that it only had the 24.5 impact to begin with. So taking it to 40% crit chance with a 4.8 multiplier and the 184.2 impact actually turned it into quite a decent weapon. It's not up there with some of the better melee weapons, but when it comes to a crit weapon, it's not that bad. I would love a 100% crit chance melee weapon, because the closest thing we have is that, oh, I cannot even remember its name. Does it begin with a T or an F? I can't even remember what it looks like, actually, the more I think about it. It's the punching weapons. Is it the Techo? I think that's the ones. But they've only got a 30% crit chance. But they do have, unfortunately, as I can kind of demonstrate here, yeah, it has 30% crit chance, which is better than the Furax Wraith, but it has more damage on it. Total damage numbers is higher. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Now I have to go all the way through this and try and find them all over again. There they are. Its damage numbers are higher, but it swings slower, which gets into the whole math of, well, if you time them swinging for a few seconds, the Furax Wraith might get in 1 or 2 more hits because it has a quicker attack speed. But no matter how you look at this, it still has less than a 50% crit chance, but compared to its normal counterpart, this weapon actually turned out to be a hell of a good weapon, especially considering it's basically free.